Hello and welcome guys to another video. Today we have the 12 hours of Misano. This was the IXR 12 hours of Misano for Samaritans. So let's get straight into the highlights. So I was driving in Stint 1. Here was the practice results. We were P3, only a tenth and a half of the quickest time. So looking at qualifying now, this was my best qualifying lap. I felt I could have done better, but this was the best lap that I was able to manage. So into the first corner, really important to get a good exit here. We're already up on our best lap here, trying to use as much of the track as we can without invalidating it and losing any time. Into the double right-hander, quite easy to lose traction on this part here. You can see I short shift into second there to stop the wheel spin. Be careful there, very nearly invalidated it there, hitting those curbs. Thankfully didn't go too wide, so the lap was still valid. Coming into the hairpin, vital to get a good exit out of here. Wee bit slow I think there, but still up on our best lap here. So I think there was still maybe a few tenths in the lap into this hairpin again, the second hairpin. Trying to get a good exit. I think that exit was a little bit slow, but we are 4.5 tenths up on our lap. So far it's a good lap, but I think there was maybe a little bit more time in the lap. But this was, I think, a personal best for me, so I was happy with this time. Into the final hairpin here. Quite a tricky corner because it's a weird line through there. Into the first of the double left-handers here. Got to be careful not to invalidate here because the track limits are a bit more strict. Now here I think I'll lose... Oh, sorry, no, I don't lose time on the exit. But there, that was a 1:34.1, so that was a personal best for me. I was quite happy with that. Unfortunately, I was only able to get P8, so let's see what we can do in Stint 1 of the 12-hour race. So 2-hour stints per driver. I'm doing the first 2-hour stint, so let's see what we can do and see if we can maybe make up some positions. So as you see, we've just started the race into turn 1, being cautious. We're alongside the other PLR car, the number 41. I think Weed Flamin' Racer was in for this stint. So we're both racing for PLR but on separate teams. There the Ferrari very nearly spins out, manages to stay in control. And up front we've got, I think that was a Ferrari, collects the other PLR team car, which was really unfortunate, but we were able to survive. And I think we're P5 at this point. Yep, up to P5. Then on lap 3 here, trying to get past this Ferrari. Now, we get a good run on him here, and here we nearly have contact here. We get really close, and then he seems to go forward almost, and then I just tag him slightly on the exit. That was my fault there. I think I just slightly braked too late. And he did seem to jump forward when I hit the brakes, which was a bit weird. So not sure if there was some netcode. But anyway, we stayed P4 for the next, I think it was like 25 minutes. Then we get a wee bit of a dive from that Ferrari, really sending it on the brakes. Try and stay close behind him though, so we don't lose too much time. We've got about 1 minute and 22 minutes left of this race. And now, a few laps later, that is the Bentley of P3 and the Ferrari of P4. So we get a great run on the Ferrari here, going on the inside of the second hairpin here, trying to watch, because I think the Bentley spun, so he had damage, so it was quite slow, so I had to be careful that I didn't go into the back of the Bentley. But we went up to P4 there, so we've got an hour and 15 minutes here. We're about to get into P3 if we can get past this Bentley, but we're on the outside for this corner. This is really risky to go on the outside here, but the Ferraris had a great run, so we're going to go 3 wide into the second hairpin. Now here, I know that 3 wide's not a good idea on a hairpin. I go for a cutback, brake early, which works perfectly because the Ferrari was late on the brakes, bumped the Bentley wide, so we actually saved ourselves by going for a cutback here. But into the second hairpin we go, We send it on the brakes, just slight contact though, spins us around, and unfortunately we collect. I'm not sure what Bentley that was, but that was really unfortunate there, just slightly late on the brakes, and we went from battling for P3 to down to P7, and we ended up with some damage, which was really annoying there, just before the pit stop phase as well. Here, this is just before I come into the pit lane, I think a few minutes before, and my tyres were just absolutely wrecked. You can see I just completely went straight on. Here, this was a bit weird. Going into that corner there, as you saw, the McLaren just turned out the corner. So not sure if there was maybe a bit of lag and he thought I was going to spin him. But I was early enough on the brakes that I wasn't going to touch him. So that was a bit weird. But we did gain a free position from that. This is just after the pit stop phase and both Ferraris going very slow. Not sure if there was a collision and they were trying to give the place back. On the next lap here, going for the inside of the Ferrari of the double right-hander. Very hard to defend here, so we get past nice and easy, back up to P9. Now a little while later, 25 minutes left of the race, and the Ferrari in front of us spins it on the exit, or was that the McLaren actually? I'm not sure. And we got a free position from that. Here, this was really close to spinning it. Full sideways Tokyo drift around that right-hander. We do lose a position on this hairpin because I just completely overheated the tyres. But to be honest, I was just happy that I didn't completely bin it there, because that was a really close call. Here we're sitting P8 and I get a little bit of a bad exit. I was really struggling on the tyres here. Only got 12 minutes of the stint. Ferrari's on the outside of us here, but he goes for a cutback here. Just go a bit too deep on the brakes here, and the Ferrari's able to get a cutback on us onto the straight, which was a little bit annoying, but I was just struggling on those tyres a bit. We did gain a free position because that blue Ferrari, I think it was, had a drive-through penalty, unfortunately. That is something I haven't mentioned, that I was able to do the first hour and a half without any track limit warnings. I was actually really conscious of being careful not to get any track limit warnings, because if you got a drive-through penalty, you could lose multiple positions here. So anyway, we finished P8. I really was hoping for better, considering we were battling for top 3. But anyway, we finished P8. It was then over for BOOSTGOOSE, one of my teammates. And this is our car, the livery, so you can look out for it. I didn't realise BOOSTGOOSE was actually streaming until after I'd got the clips from the BOA stream that you're seeing here. So I do apologise about that. But you can see BOOSTGOOSE in the background there, going side by side with the Ferrari on the outside of turn 2. BOOSTGOOSE getting round the start quite well. Into the double right-hander they come. That's the other PLR Bentley, as you can see, that silver Bentley. All the cars quite close together here, going quite slow. BOOSTGOOSE gains a position from, I'm not sure what the Lexus does here, but he lets a bunch of cars by. Not sure if he started in the wrong position or something, but that was very weird there. So we got a position from that. Here, BOOSTGOOSE trying to get past the Lamborghini of P4, so he was doing a really good stint, but you notice he's got really bad ping here, which was a wee bit unfortunate here. So on his screen, he didn't touch the Ferrari, but as you see, the Ferrari spun out. So the server was reset, and this is it after it's been reset. And on the resetted server, there was really bad ping for him, which was unfortunate. And there as well, that was the other PLR team car getting taken out by a spinning Ferrari. That did give us some free position, so BOOSTGOOSE is already up to P3. Massive air there, hitting the curb. Very nearly gets collected, but that was like completely in the air. He did very well not to completely spin out there. He did lose 2 positions, but just glad that he didn't completely spin there. Good control by him. Into the hairpin now. This is another weird ping connection here, collision. So I think he was just struggling with the ping, that there was gaps in front of his car. But as you see, the other cars were spinning off. Really unfortunate, because before the server was reset, it was absolutely fine, but then there were server issues and it had to be reset. so that was a wee bit unfortunate. There the Ferrari going for a dive on Goose, but able to hold him off. Into the second hairpin, he's going for a move on the Lamborghini of P3, trying to get back into P3, and he's got the job done. Great move by him there. Unfortunately, I didn't get a clip of this, but you can see there on the leaderboard, BOOSTGOOSE was able to overtake the Ferrari and get into P2. So yeah, that was good by him to get into P2 there. Unfortunately, I didn't catch the clip there. And then this is the end of the race, just the drivers finishing off. Great stint by BOOSTGOOSE getting from P8 to P2. Really well done by him, taking P2 there. So then it was over to Mr. Azon for the next stint. So as you see there, P2, great stint by BOOSTGOOSE here. And I do apologise, I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce Mr. Azon. But anyway, starting P2, so you'll see just in front, you can just see the Bentley there at the front. Green lights and away they go for the 2-hour stint. See what Mr. Azon can do. Good first few corners, holding on to P2 nicely. Now we're skipping to, I think this was the next lap or the end of lap 1. Here, very close call as Bentley sends it, bumps the Lamborghini wide and very nearly takes us out. That was a very close call. Kind of a bit of a dive bomb there. But anyway, skipping now, Mr. Azon had caught up to right behind the leader and he went for the undercut, which was a really smart choice because as you can see, when we skip to the leader in the pit lane, you'll notice that you'll just see the lead Bentley coming out the pit lane in a second. He's going around the outside of that Bentley as well. There's the Bentley exiting the pit lane. So Mr. Azon is technically leading the race because the other drivers haven't made their pit stop. So great strategy choice to take the lead of the race there. Top job by him. And then behind him, P2 and P3 here were battling. So that allowed him to pull away and get a big lead, which was really good. So as you see there, not much too much happened in this stint. He did a fantastic job and was able to get into P1 for stint 3, I think this was. So really top job by him there. So top job by Mr. Azon there, taking P1. Apologies about the blurry picture. Now over to BOOSTGOOSE for stint 4. So BOOSTGOOSE starting P1. Let's see if he can hold the lead at the start. 2-hour stint and green lights and away we go. BOOSTGOOSE holding on to the lead there into the first corner there. The Ferrari behind not going for a move there, which is great for Boost. Holding the lead, already got a little bit of a gap, which is just perfect. So now skipping 10 minutes later, as not much happened. We've got the Bentley of 332 just behind us, trying to hold them off. A great job by BOOSTGOOSE there, but into the double right-hander. And the Lexus sends it on the Bentley as the Bentley went for a move on Boost. And then the Lexus also gets the inside of BOOSTGOOSE and then around the outside of the fast left-hander and is able to take that position there. So BOOSTGOOSE doing a great defence there to hold off that other Bentley. Into the hairpin we go. See what the other Bentley does. Well, BOOSTGOOSE hold it on the inside, gets a good amount of traction on the exit, into the second hairpin. BOOSTGOOSE on the outside though. Into the hairpin and the Bentley takes position. So unfortunately BOOSTGOOSE did go down to P3, but then he did make up a position there, but we didn't actually see it on stream unfortunately. But he did get back up to P2 a little while later. So top job by him. And then I think here they were having a battle here because BOOSTGOOSE went down to P3 again. Just watching the leaderboard on the left. And then he went back up to P2. So I think they were having a battle. Unfortunately, we didn't quite get it on stream. Now, skipping quite a while later, not much else happened. So BOOSTGOOSE was able to take P2 in that stint. He did really well. I've tried to make this video as short as I can. So that's why there is a few jumps in between the stints. when not much is happening. So he did a great job there taking P2. So now it was over to me for stint 5. Now, just on the starts, I thought that was green lights there, but then it goes green here, so that's why I pulled to the left, because I thought it was green lights. But on the outside of the Lexus into turn 1, very nearly got touched by the Ferrari there, a wee bit early on the brakes by us, just on the cold tyres, wanted to be careful. So we're already all over the back of the Lexus here, into the first double right-hander, got a bit of pressure already from the Ferrari behind us, so 312. I don't know the name, so I'm just calling it by the numbers. Here on the end of lap 1, we get alongside the Lexus here. He was already starting to hold us up a little bit. I knew that I was definitely quicker than this Lexus, but I was struggling to find a place to get past because he seemed to be slower than me in the places that there wasn't an overtaking opportunity. So here a few minutes later, again trying to get past the Lexus here, he kept going deep into this hairpin, but there isn't really an overtaking opportunity there unless you absolutely send it on the brakes, which I didn't really want to do because I didn't want to risk too much when we still had an hour and 50 left of the race. Here on lap 3, we're so close that we're actually having to lift on the straight there because we had nowhere to actually overtake him on that right-hander. But we were right on the back of him. We knew we were definitely quicker, so we're just trying to get past. Now I think this is a lap or two later, still trying to get past the Lexus here. Now you notice the Ferrari behind us coming into the second hairpin, flashing his lights at me as well. But coming into the second hairpin, I'm a little bit early on the brakes because of the Lexus. Ferrari absolutely sends it onto the curb and the grass, forcing me to not turn into the corner. Unfortunately, he got past and let the Lamborghini pass, so we lost 2 positions there from that dive bomb there, unfortunately. Not sure if he was just a little bit late on the brakes or what exactly happened there. But now we're finally trying to get past this Lexus into the hairpin on the inside. He's a little bit deeper into the brakes, but we get a better exit than him, and we're able to close the door just coming into the second hairpin. We get much later on the brakes, able to close the door and take that position. Unfortunately, because we lost time to the Lexus there, the other cars did pull away a bit. Here we've got the Bentley right behind us, an hour and a half left, and he sends it on the curb there where there wasn't an opportunity to overtake. I ended up going wide here, and that also allows the Ferrari alongside us. He goes on the outside, gets through, and we drop down to P5. So really annoying there again that there wasn't really an overtaking opportunity, but we had to give room, otherwise we would have got spun. Same here with the Ferrari. He goes onto the curb to get past us, but I kind of felt that they were just dive bombing because there wasn't really enough space to make a move there. Like there, if I turned in, because I was ahead, I would have just been completely spun around. Now here, this is a little while just before our pit stop. This Bentley sends it on the braking zone. This was a lot more fair because he was close to us, and he did was quite close on the brakes. Here we're getting a good run on him. This was just after the pit stop, so that's why the tyres were so grippy there, and we got a good exit on the inside of the hairpin. Really good defending by him there, squeezing us on the inside line, but we are on the outside for the second hairpin, so I tried to go for a cutback, but I think he knew I would do that, so he holds the inside line really well, so I wasn't actually able to get a move there. Now, I think this was like 20 minutes later here on lap 60. We've got, I think that's the Bentley behind us, spins us, a little bit late on the brake, spins us around. Now I see this Ferrari coming, so I go to the left, thinking that was smarter to get out the way, but then I do not expect to slide so much on the grass. Apologies to that Ferrari, because I just didn't expect the wheels to slide so much like that. That was a terrible rejoin by me. But then the game disqualifies us, teleports us to the pit, which was really, really annoying because, yes, that Bentley spun us, but it wasn't really aggressive. It was near the end of the stint, only 20 minutes left. He was just a little bit late on the brakes, but because I went across the track there trying to get off the racing line, the game just disqualified me for driving in the wrong direction, which was really, really annoying because we went from P7, I think we were, to P15. And then there was no official stream for the final stint, which was my teammate, Mr. Azon. He had to start from P15. He did very well and was gaining positions, he said, but then he had an incident with someone. And then when he tried to give the place back, the other driver deliberately took him out, and then he had to retire from the race because of the damage. So that was really annoying because we then finished last in both of the final stints. But the rest of the stints were really good. I really enjoyed the event. So let's have a look at the results. So we finished P6 overall, Pro League Racing Team 3, and P4 in Lobby 1. So Lobby 1 was the Pro Lobby, and Lobby 2 was the Am Lobby. And then, as you see, we were 97 points, and the winner was 120 points. So we were only 23 points off the win. And considering we ended up finishing last in both the final two stints, from really unfortunate circumstances with me getting disqualified and Mr. Azon getting taken out, I thought that was a great job by the entire team. Well done to BOOSTGOOSE and Mr. Azon. BOOSTGOOSE got P3 in the driver standing, so great job by him, and a great job by Mr. Azon as well. I hope you all enjoyed that video. That took me a very long time to make, but I hope you enjoyed. Please leave a like and subscribe if you did. See you again next time.